I do this work and I create things because I feel like it's an outlet. I need an outlet for something. I like the satisfaction of saying, hey, I can't buy this, and I spent hours and hours, and look at this thing that I have to create. And it's not going anywhere, and it wasn't there 5 hours ago. To me, it's normal, but a lot of people see that and they're like, whoa, I wish I can do that. I'm like, sure, why can't you do that? You just fucking Google it and look in YouTube. And it's like not anything spectacular. It's like, just be willing to make the mistakes, spend the time, and do it again until you get it. It's like, sure, like when I started welding, it looked like shit. And it's like a joke, like it's like I'm a better grinder than I am a welder. But after doing this for years and years and not giving up, like sure, I can put out some pretty good welds. Lately, I started fabricating motorcycles and customizing, and I really like that because there's so many different facets of customizing a motorcycle. A lot of people end up subletting certain things, but I like to kind of learn at each step of the process and really dissect it and take the time to learn and make the mistakes. I really fell in love with the metal part of it and started to expand CNC plasma work and that kind of stuff, and really expands the possibilities of what I can do. In the past, like if I was doing music and I was doing stuff like that, my mind can go elsewhere. I could be like doing my taxes in my head, and my hands are doing something, and that's fine. Like no one's gonna die if I mess up, Like if I'm welding or using an angle grinder, and my mind's going somewhere else, I can lose a finger and go to the hospital. So you have to really focus, and I think that's kind of nice, and it's kind of it's an element of danger is good, because when you're focused, you're not thinking about, your shitty day or what's going on. You're focused, all right, I can't fuck myself up. I can't set this place on fire. I can't screw up this really expensive piece of metal. And you're just focused and focused and focused. And I understand that's like, for me, that's maybe meditating. Maybe that's what other people do when I can't sit in a room and not think of anything. Like that's just not the way my brain works. I'll be thinking of all the shit I should be doing in my projects and stuff. But if I'm welding and I'm not trying to burn my fingers off, I'm not thinking about the crappy part of my life. Shut your brain off. Same thing about riding motorcycles. There's an element of danger there. If you're not focused on what you're doing at all times, you can ride off the side of the road, you can get hit by someone, and people think you're crazy for doing it, but when you do it, people are like, it's the best thing in the world. That's why you don't see Harley Davidsons parked outside the therapist's office, right? I think the pursuit of perfection, it's a pendulum swing. I like that because if you're satisfied with what you're doing, then why are you ever going to get better? So like, if you're never satisfied, you always can push yourself to be better and better, and so that's a good thing, right? But then at the end of the day, if it's always a struggle and you're not happy with what you're doing, and where's the joy in that? Sometimes I feel frustrated. Sometimes I just look at all the negatives. I look at all the imperfections. But lately, it's easy to try to train myself to step back and just say, look at all the good things. There's a lot of things that are there that are good, and maybe it's not perfect, but if something is perfect, then what? It's like I built a motorcycle. It was perfect when it was done. I hated it because it was so many hours, and I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to scratch it. I didn't want to ride it. I'm not a person that I think I can live in an apartment. Like, I'll be pissing off my neighbors because I want to come home and blast my music sometimes. Even in a warehouse, I piss off my neighbors because I'm slamming metal with the sledgehammer at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And I understand that maybe that's loud, but I think why I do all that, for me, is it's not conscious. It just feels right, and I just do that because I like to be surrounded by the things that I do, and it feels good. And like, to me, fun is like, I'd rather be in my garage, like doing my thing and like creating this thing, and that's rewarding. Like spending all this time in my head and being alone in the garage, honestly, is a place I like to be.